Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is my usual weekly technical analysis outlook videos in which I will comment on what I think will happen to some FX crosses and equities. As always, before I begin, I want to clarify that this is not a solicitation or recommendation to enter into long or short positions in the names that I will mention in this video, nor do I have existing positions in them. This is not financial advice, and if you're using this content as a guide to trade, you are doing so at your own risk. Alright, let's start. These are the names that I have covered in past videos, and I will do a quick review on each of them. I will also be ceasing coverage on several names as well. Do check them out towards the end of this video. I've put in timestamps, so please use them to skip to the names that interest you. On the 3rd of May, I highlighted that Coca-Cola may be forming a double top, a bearish pattern. Now, this week's price action has strengthened my suspicion. Coca-Cola closed below the 20-week simple moving average, tilting it towards a downside bias. Caution that closing below the Ichimoku cloud would give Coca-Cola another downside boost, while a weekly close below the support at 60.62 would complete this bearish pattern that has a textbook target at 47.72. There is a potential change in the outlook of dollar-yen. In the review on the 23rd of March, I noted that dollar-yen is still forming a head and shoulders top on the weekly chart, but recent price action development suggests that this bearish pattern will have to be delayed or potentially be invalidated, because on the daily chart, dollar-yen may be forming a cup and handle pattern. Now, note that price action has closed above the Ichimoku cloud, giving dollar-yen an upside tilt, and this cup and handle bottom pattern will be complete with a daily close above 148.64, and if this happens, the textbook target is at 157.42, and this draws very close to invalidating the weekly chart pattern that is requiring an intraday move above the high of 158.87. Now, in my view, between the daily chart and weekly chart, the daily chart takes precedence and it usually leads the weekly chart. In the video on the 3rd of May, I noted the completion of a falling wedge, a bullish pattern in the Aussie Kiwi, and the textbook target is at 109.55. Aussie Kiwi over here reached a high of 1.0921, which is about 85% of the textbook target, but has since fallen. I am not about to give up on this bullish view. I suspect that the Aussie Kiwi may be forming another bullish pattern, which is the cup and handle bottom. So price action has since closed above the 20-day moving average, tilting the Aussie Kiwi slightly towards the upside, and the upside bias will again be boosted if there is a close above the Ichimoku cloud. Of course, completion of this new bullish pattern will require a close above the resistance at 1.0921, and if that happens, the textbook target is much higher at 111.88. Moving on to names that I will no longer be covering in future videos, the most important one being the dollar index DXY, because there's new development. Now, previously I was bearish on the DXY after completing the head and shoulders top bearish pattern, which has a textbook target at 96.22. DXY over here fell to a low of 97.62, which is about 82% of the expected downward move. I deem this bearish pattern to be a success, and I will now cease coverage on DXY. Obviously, the next name that I will no longer be covering in future videos is the euro dollar. The head and shoulders bottom that was completed in early April has a textbook target at 117.17, while euro dollar over here reached a high of 116.31, about 88% of the expected move. I deem this bullish pattern to be a success, and since there is new development in the euro dollar, and I will now cease coverage on this cross. I am ceasing coverage on the euro yen because the head and shoulders top that I started noticing on the 10th of November last year was eventually invalidated by this week's advance above the last high, the second shoulder. Finally, I'll be ceasing coverage on gold because the latest advance over here has invalidated the cup and handle top via an advance above the 34-35 level. That's the end of my sharing. I will give updates to these crosses and names only when there are meaningful development, and in the next video, it will highly likely be on new crosses and new names. If you like what I'm doing, please help me out by giving me a like, please subscribe and hit the notification button for more videos like this.